What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Over the past few days, I'm sure you've heard the rumors about what Joe Biden and Democrats want to provide for the American people, how much stimulus they're willing to give us. Well, first, they want to provide roughly $1 trillion in direct payments to the American people. This includes things like a $1,400 second stimulus check amendment. This includes things like $400 per week in unemployment benefits for an additional 28 weeks, and this would last until September 30th. This also includes larger tax credits to children. You would get $3,600 per child from 0 to 5 and $3,000 per child if they're from 6 to 17. That sounds great. There's also additional rental assistance. Again, all this stuff sounds great, right? But here's the problem. There's a major problem that seems to be worrying some progressives in Congress. Right now, some are asking, did Joe Biden trick the American people to get into the Oval Office? Did he trick the American people to vote Democrat in Georgia? Did he trick the American people? Was this just a complete bait and switch? They're also wondering, did Joe Biden promise one thing and then find a loophole within that statement that he made to get out of delivering? Some are saying yes, and some are calling on Joe Biden to correct this, to fix this, and make it right. Well, those progressives are people like AOC and also Rashida Tlaib. Others are saying this exact same thing, but those are the two most vocal progressives at this point. Joe Biden promised $2,000 stimulus checks, yet he's not going to actually provide that. He promised it, but now he's saying, no, I meant 600 plus, additional 1,400, which would equal 2,000. Technically, that's right, but he did promise $2,000 checks as long as you vote Democrat. That's all he said. So now he's talking about just an additional $1,400. I get it, but many people are mad. More and more people are calling on the Biden administration to live up to their promise. They promised this, so they need to deliver. But not only that, here's another big thing. Not only did Joe Biden and the Biden administration promise $2,000 stimulus checks if the American people voted Democrat, but one of his earlier promises, he ran his campaign on the idea that he would provide a $200 per month boost to people on Social Security, to people in need. Now, there's no piece of legislation in his $1.9 trillion stimulus package that includes $200 per month for people on Social Security. It's really nothing. And I get comments all the time. I saw so many comments last night, so many comments, yesterday and the day before as well. What about us on Social Security? What about us on SSI, SSDI, VA, railroad benefits? What about us? How come everyone forgets about us? Well, here's what I'm here to tell you. I'm not forgetting about you guys. I'm not forgetting. I look every single day. I try to do research to figure out, is there anything? And right now, there's nothing. Other than that second stimulus check for $600 and potentially getting an additional $1,400, there's nothing. $200 per month may not sound like a lot, but over the course of a year, for all of 2021, that $200 would turn into $2,400 for the year. That's a lot of money for people that are on a fixed income. If you receive currently, let's say $700 to $1,000 per month in Social Security benefits, $200 per month is going to feel like you just won the lottery. That's big. That is big. Now, I know it's not a lot of money to some, but when you're on a very tight and a lower fixed income, it's a lot of money. And that's what people are calling on the Biden administration to do. Provide for those in need. Because he keeps saying this. We need to provide for those that were hurt the hardest, were hit the hardest, and are currently suffering. Well, people on Social Security are suffering. Now, here's what we know right now, and here's what we're hearing this morning. Joe Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, he outlined what Joe Biden's first executive orders are going to be come Wednesday. Again, this is January 17th. We have 3 days until Joe Biden is inaugurated. Well, and also Kamala Harris. So what Ron Klain said is this is what Joe Biden is going to do on day one. He's going to sign orders to return the United States to the Paris Climate Agreement. He's going to sign orders to extend the pause on federal student loan payments and interest. He will extend the ban on evictions and foreclosures. So not just evictions. He's not just going to extend the federal eviction moratorium. He's going to extend the ban on evictions and foreclosures, both, which is key. He's going to reverse President Trump's travel ban on some Muslim-majority nations. He is going to do an executive order to require masks to be worn on all federal properties and for interstate travel. Again, only Joe Biden can do an executive order to require masks on federal properties. The governors have the ability and the power to require masks everywhere else, but not the president. So he could call on every single governor to require masks. However, that's not actually is in his legal right. So we will see what happens there. He will also submit a broad immigration proposal to Congress. Everything I just outlined is on day one. That's on day one, January 20th, in 3 days. That's what's going to happen. Ron Klain also said over the first 10 days, Joe Biden will sign multiple executive orders. But Ron Klain stated that his legislative priority is still the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Now, here's a major twist in what is going on with this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. And I know you're probably thinking, well, when are they just going to pass it? Why don't they just pass it? They talk about it and they say, oh, they can do this budget reconciliation. They can just get this passed through, right? It's easy. They just need Democrats to vote for it. And they'll vote yes, and we know this, and everything will be good, and we'll get this stimulus package. We'll get an additional $1,400, $400 for unemployment. We'll get $350 for state and local governments, and we'll get so much more. Here's the problem. Democratic senators, as of right now, this is what we're hearing. They realized how much power they have at this point in order to push through their own agendas. So yes, even though the American people are suffering, Democratic senators are thinking, oh, I could actually get this really hopeful proposal or bill. I could get this pushed through because I hold all the power. I hold the power. That's what they're saying. That's what we're hearing. Right now, we know the budget reconciliation process would allow bills to pass through the Senate with only 51 votes. The Senate is currently split 50 Republicans, 50 Democrats. And then we have the tiebreaker, which would be the 51st vote. This would be Kamala Harris. This would be the vice president. They are the tiebreaker. That would be Kamala Harris. She will obviously vote on the side of Democrats. However, here's the problem. Every Democrat must vote yes in order to get this bill passed through, or else the tie-breaking vote doesn't matter. It would not be needed. Because if, let's say, 5 Democrats really want to get their proposals or their bills into this $1.9 trillion stimulus package, and Chuck Schumer's like, no, we're not going to do that. Then they could just be like, well, I'm not going to vote for it. I'm not going to vote yes. So then you got the no's are going to outweigh the yeses. So the no's, which would primarily be Republican, are going to be like 52 to 55 versus 48 to 45. And so here's what we're seeing. The slim majority in the Senate is actually going to cause more problems for Chuck Schumer and Democrats than it is to actually provide a solution. This could mean we see a lot of new ideas and proposals thrown into the mix very soon. However, and this sounds great, it sounds really good to get an additional ideas, get more proposals, get maybe a larger stimulus package and more for the American people. But the problem is when we see more, there's also going to be more negotiations, and it's going to take longer. It will ultimately delay the stimulus negotiation. But here's what we're hearing as of right now. This is what we are currently seeing is being considered as a inclusion into this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. First, we have an increase on the Social Security cost of living adjustment. It's currently 1.3%. They want to increase it to 5%. That's a current proposal. Now, whether that's being submitted or going to get pushed into the Senate, we don't know. We don't know right now. But we do know that is a proposal. We also have eliminated $50,000 in student loan debt. That's another one. That's another big one that they want to do. Joe Biden is on board with possibly doing maybe 10,000, but anything over that, it's highly unlikely. There's also multiple proposals for $2,000 per month in stimulus checks for all. That includes filers, their spouse, their children, and their adult dependents. That's everybody. We're also hearing Medicaid for all. This is one that Bernie Sanders really wants to push through. And some are saying that Bernie Sanders, if he can get Joe Biden on board, which right now seems highly likely, then this could ultimately happen. We are also hearing retroactive unemployment benefits of $400 per week all the way back until August. We're in January. Remember, in August and the majority of September, we were getting $300 per week. This was done through President Trump, through an executive order that he did where he provided FEMA funds to cover the costs. Well, if we take this all the way back to August, beginning of August, that means for all of August and majority of September, we would see an additional $100. And then after September, we would see an additional $400 per week. This could be big. This could be a lot of money for people that have been unemployed for that entire time frame. So again, what I can tell you right now is just getting this stimulus package agreed upon is going to be difficult. And this is the problem that we had last time, is a lot of lawmakers wanted to get their own agendas in there. Ultimately, a lot of them got dropped out. A lot of the things that were wanting to get pushed into that $900 billion stimulus package didn't get included, simply because there was not enough money to go around. This time, it's actually being talked about that it's different, that there is a lot of money to go around because Joe Biden's willing to spend. Congress is willing to spend, or the Democratic side of Congress is willing to spend. Republicans, they don't want to spend any more money. But here's the issue we're seeing. That right now, if something doesn't happen soon, here's what current reports are saying, that for every single day that the United States is in this pandemic, we lose about $10 billion. $10 billion. So, what they're saying right now, they don't expect this bill to actually get passed until possibly March. So let's say this gets passed in 2 months, in 60 days. Well, that means it costs the United States about $600 billion. $600 billion in growth, in revenue. That's huge. In addition to that, if this bill does not get passed for an additional 60 days, what is currently being reported is that Joe Biden and his plan of getting 1 million vaccinations per day for the first 100 days, it would actually delay him about 60 million Americans getting vaccinated. So if this is delayed by 2 months, which some are saying it could be, this could be devastating to the United States. This could be devastating to the economy, to the American people, and this could only further this pandemic. So, right now, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I don't think anybody does. According to Nancy Pelosi, she doesn't know what's going to be in this package. According to Chuck Schumer, everything's just a guess to him. Right now, Joe Biden is just trying to do whatever he can. The problem is, he's trying to just get to the inauguration, which is in 3 days. And then he will actually have some power. Right now, he doesn't have any power. It's all President Trump. He is just president-elect. So, I anticipate we will see some negotiations happen over the next couple of weeks. I expect we will see something happen this week as well. Hopefully we make some progress. We get some more updates. If we do, as always, I promise I'll come back and share whatever I know. So make sure you consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.